We're learning about semantic HTML, and if you're just catching this video online, you can go to YouTube, Greater Commons to see all my front-end videos. And so that's that. If you want front-end HTML, CSS, if you want to learn about the back-end with the Go programming language, YouTube Todd McLeod. And for the code base, we're using github.com, goes to 11, and the repo there is HTML, CSS Bootcamp repo at that username. And then follow me on Twitter. I'm always tweeting about web development, front end and back end. So I love sharing all that information. I feel blessed and fortunate to work at the college where I get to teach people to do this stuff. The last thing is check out greatercommons.com. Awesome website where, it's a good place. We're just building it with some friends. I'm just building it. And you can, learn cool things and then turn it into economic opportunity, get jobs with what you know. greatercommons.com. So we looked at some, just taking pages and looking at those pages and how would we mark them up, how would we break up the content, what tags would we use for the different content. And so here are some of my solutions, and I'm just bringing these up. And so that was the New York Times solution. And then I had here, I don't know what this was, further down on the New York Times. And so we did the New York Times in class here. It looks like a lot of people did that. So we'll just take a closer look at this. And so the header is that entire top area. And then nested inside there, I had two navs and two asides, an H1 and H2. And then beneath that, I had an aside. Maybe that could have just been a div. But when you look up what an aside is, aside, MDN. An aside is section of document with content connected tangentially to the main content of the document, often presented as a sidebar. And I'm just going to see if add comes up here. Advertisement, add V, that's pretty good, but I don't see where it shows it. No, nothing. So that was the side. And then down here a little bit more, there's the main with an article there. So this would be the entire article, right? And H1 here, maybe an H2 there, fig caption, H2 here, and then a paragraph right here, fig caption, another aside, another aside. So that was just sort of what I came up with that first one. Here is a section. So this really wouldn't stand on its own. If it was just blowing down the street, it's just like little snippets. They're not full articles. So this section has sections in them. And this is the main nav up here. This would be an aside. And here's another aside for that advertisement right there. And then the footer, H1 and then a bunch of H2s. And this would be a nav. Or these could be ULLIs, right? So this could be an H1 and then ULLI. But is that the main content on the page? So these might be H4s and H5s. So no right answer, but this is tricky to think about which one to use where. It's interesting to always go back and look at the news. Trump versus Kelly, the sequel. So we have a header, and then a nav, main with an article, H1, fig caption, and a side right beneath it. So you kind of start to get the idea. This was pretty funny. So I'm an astronaut currently spending a year in space. Ask me anything. Why do you always have your arms folded? Your arms don't hang by your side in space like they do on Earth because there's no gravity. It feels awkward to have them floating in front of me. It's just more comfortable to have them folded. I don't even have them floating in my sleep, but I put them in my sleeping bag. Wow, this is something I legitimately never considered. I just thought you were being gangsta. As if living in space for 300 days isn't gangsta enough. He's an original no G gangsta. He's 0G, dog. I thought that was funny. People are witty. So not semantic are div and span. Span is the inline equivalent of div, just a generic container, a span. And then here are the primary semantic elements: the header, the nav, the main, the article, the section, the side, footer, H1, H6, figure, fig caption, address. So look at each of these individually. A header is a group of introductory content or navigational aids. May contain some heading elements, but also other elements like a logo. Must not be a descendant of header, footer, or address. Nav, a section with navigation links. The links may link to other pages or parts within a page. Not all links within a document must be in a nav element. Intended for major block of navigation links. So if you're just like, go to Google, and here's a link to Google, that don't wrap that in a nav. But if you're like, here are the links to the main pages in our site, wrap it in a nav. The footer element often has a list of links that don't need to be in a nav element. It is common for footers to have a list of links to various key parts of a site, but the footer element is more appropriate in such cases, and no nav element is necessary for those links. This is all from the documentation. A document may have several nav elements, for example, one for site navigation and one for intra-page navigation. So really, like, what's the primary nav on the page? Use the nav there. The main content of the body of a document or application. Content that is central topic of document. Content that is the central topic of a document or the central functionality of an application should be unique to the document. Excludes content that's repeated across a set of documents. Sidebars, navigation links, copyright information, site logos, and search forms, right, would not be part of main. Must not be a descendant of article, aside, footer, header, or nav. Only one main element per document. Article, self-contained composition, independently distributable or reusable. A section is a thematic grouping of content, typically includes a heading. So article and section typically includes a heading. That's good. That's important. I mean, that's so important that I never highlighted it before, but I think it warrants being highlighted. Examples of an article: forum post, magazine or newspaper article, blog entry, user review, an object, any other independent item of content. A section, see if I have examples here. So don't use the section element as generic container. That is what div is for, especially when sectioning is only for styling purposes. If something can stand on its own, use an article element. Aside and footer. Content related to something, sidebars, inserts, advertisements, biography of the author, related links on the blog. Footer, information about the author of each section, copyright data, links related to documents. Enclosed information about the author and an address element that can be included into the footer element. Structuring documents 01 through 06, some examples. Let's go look at those. 027. Header. And do headers have headings? This one does. In paragraph. And then nav, ul, li. Could the nav have been inside this header? Sure. And then an article. Can a header be inside an article? Any element, the permitted parents, any flow content other than address, footer, or header, that's fine. a section, a footer. So H2, H3. So an article can have a header and a footer too. And then the sections. And here's an aside. And then a footer. So we looked at that page. That's just the HTML, no styling. But nice examples, right? Like of using semantic HTML. Would you think of doing this? Would you think of taking your page and breaking it down like this? Or would you just be like div, 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 div? So the main takeaway from all this is think about semantic HTML. Right? Okay, here's my body and there's a header and a footer. A header and a footer to this body. There's the footer for the body. There's the header. And then there's a nav. So there's the nav up near the top. And then I have one article. Maybe I would have put all of article on the side here. I could have put all that inside of a main. This is the main stuff here. It's this. This is the main stuff. Or maybe just put this in main. Like, what's the main thing? Is it the article and the aside? Yeah, I think it is. Like those are the main things. Okay, that goes in main. It's subjective. It's not clear cut. Objective 2 + 2 is 4. It's clear cut and objective. This is does it go there or not go there? I think it does go there. That's the main stuff. It's subjective. And so the article has a header and a footer. And then there's two sections in the article. And notice that this is like H1, welcome to our website. And then I just wanted to de-emphasize that. So this is H2, H3, 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 and then H4. De-emphasize a little bit further, the outline. Here's another example. Interesting. It's an article that has a section in it with more articles. So the article has a header and a footer. Jurassic Park is the header, and posted on is the footer. And then there's a section in there which is the main review of the article. And there's another section which are user reviews. And the user reviews, each user review could stand on its own. And so it has the user review and then a footer for that user review when it was posted, maybe by who. And you might think, Todd, did you create this wacky crap on yourself? This is out of MDN. This is MDN's example, Mozilla Developer Network. For either article or section, I can't remember. Here it is. So there's the article. Which has two sections, main review and user review, and then each user reviews an article. I'm not making this stuff up. It's like this is the way you're supposed to do it. So there's more examples here. But I like that MDN one, so we're going to stop with the examples there. So headings, H1 through H6. Structure content on a page by topic and importance. Headings are important for document outline and SEO. Figure and fig caption. Frequently with the caption. Self-contained content frequently with fig caption. an address, contact information for its nearest article or body ancestor. Create each of the following pages. Only create the HTML structure, do not style the pages. That's one hands-on exercise. And these are my solutions, a hands-on exercise showing you how to write semantic HTML into a document, 028 structuring documents. And hands-on exercise, learning HTML elements, content sectioning, and click the link above, answer the questions. So let's do that in the next video. If you like this video right now. It helps other people find it. Click the like button, please.